And when I did that research, it was a small sample of 40 males who were either black males who were either in Minneapolis public schools, went to Minneapolis public schools, or had children at Minneapolis public schools. I talked to all of them. Every 40. Okay, I know it's a small number, but 40 of every participant, 100% of those participants in my research study had a suicidal ideation. So there's a topic that I want to discuss, and that's extremely, extremely close to my heart. There was a young lady, I would not use her name, her family name, because I did not get permission from the family to discuss this, because it's such a horrific topic, but it happens every day to our babies. Everyone know eliminating suicide, specifically Black youth suicide, is a purpose in my life. I am living purposefully. I do feel that God put me here for that specific purpose. I will have a story time about just why I feel that God put me here on this earth for that specific purpose. But I want to continue on this topic. There was a 12-year-old girl last year who tried to unalive herself due to bullying and racism in her school. I'm trying not to cry because, again, this topic is so much. If you don't know, I speak on panels about suicide. I've done focus groups. I am trying to hold vigils to raise awareness. And also I want to have a parent group for Black parents with Black children to help develop their self-esteem, develop the confidence to deal with racism and deal with bullying to prevent and eliminate suicide. So this is a mission that I've been working on for years. I've talked about, I worked in Minneapolis public schools, not worked in, but I worked with as a partner, as a co-chair of the Black Parents Advisory Council. I worked with the Minneapolis public schools to actually redo their client framework when it comes to Black children. I discussed how it can hurt the mental health of children and their families. I actually did a research project about Black children and families in Minneapolis public schools, and I sat down with the superintendent and directors and discussed this, and that's what helped develop the climate framework that they have changed now. So that is something that I've done, and I will continue to do in systems to change spaces. And again, this is just a mission, and this is why I am developing books for families to, books specifically for families, because to build the self-esteem of Black boys, Black girls, and our young women. The reason why I did this is to build their self-esteem and eliminate suicide. Our babies shouldn't even know a thing about not wanting to be here at that age. I'm just disgusted on what has happened. The young girl had stated she was called a roach. The teacher called her a roach, allowed the bullying to happen. Teachers, administrators saw the bullying, was with the bullying, and let it happen. I'm going to discuss this. Our education system was not built for our Black children. I'm going to speak specifically within Minnesota. In Minnesota, the teachers are, there's 97% of the teachers are white. 70% of them are white women. When I did my research project, I wasn't paid for this. This is something specifically voluntarily. I went to Minneapolis Public Schools, so I understood the atmosphere. I did a small sample size of 40 Black children. The reason why I wanted to do this was because my son started going to school, and I did affirmations with him. We talked about skin, loving himself, all of these things. And then when he started going in school, he started saying he hates the school. He not hating the school, but hating himself, hating his hair, hating his skin color, and started having suicidal ideations. And my baby was 6 years old at this time. And so when that started happening, I was like, what is going on? I started getting more involved with the school. I was at the school dang near every day. I started getting more involved with the board, the school board, the advisory councils. My son was diagnosed with autism, and so he was in a special autism classroom. But he would say, I don't want to go in that classroom because that's where all the Black kids are. Okay, our children are overdiagnosed with ADHD, hyper things, autism, a lot of things. They're overdiagnosed, okay, in school systems. They're in special education when they don't need to be. And that was something else. I worked with special education in Minneapolis Public Schools, but not saying it's not perfect. But just to go on, I've noticed that a lot of these bullying tactics that our children are talking about, they're not just talking about the students, they're talking about these teachers. And this is why I am making a new speech at the Minnesota Social Service Association this March, and I'm discussing the Pygmalion effect and how the Pygmalion effect affects our children mental health and cause suicide. Now, if you don't know what the Pygmalion effect is, that is when somebody, thinks you're at this level and you start thinking that. So when teachers have this attitude of they're not this, they're only this is what the children will pick up, and this is what they will start believing. And a lot of our children have this issue. And when I did that research, it was a small sample of 40 males who were Black males who were either in Minneapolis Public Schools, went to Minneapolis Public Schools, or had children at Minneapolis Public Schools. I talked to all of them. Every 40, okay, I know it's a small number, but 40 of every participant, 100% of those participants in my research study had a suicidal ideation. And it was the 3 top things: racism, bullying, and family connection. Those 3 were the 3 top research points in my research that I have found in Minneapolis, that the children were having suicidal ideations. And for this young girl to really think that it was okay, I'm disgusted. And I'm so heartbroken for the family. And they can never see their baby, how their baby was. Right now, I know she's in a wheelchair now, and she needs 24-hour care. She was brain dead for 8 minutes, I believe. but God has her here for a reason. And it's because we need to start implementing self-love, self-esteem in our babies. If you don't take anything away from this, make sure you have your babies know who they are. And if you don't, get my books. Get my books and read those books to your babies. Look at Jules TV, positive affirmations. Have them know their affirmations every day, because our babies are lights and shines. They're kings and queens. They're scientists and lawyers, and we need to show them that they are. And I just want to send love to that family.